Spencer. We're swapped around again.
Huh?
We're swapped around again.
Yeah, but I know you do it on purpose. And here we are again.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody.
I was doing pretty good. Just like a minute ago, and Pyro commented. I was reading the live chat. Pyro commented he's frying fish. Now I'm envious. I'm sitting here hungry.
Me too. Well, what kind of fish are you frying, Pyro? Hey, everybody in chat. Hello to the moderators. Thanks for being here. And he made it. He made it. Sorry, we were having technical difficulties backstage trying to get Brother Chris on. Everybody knows him. Might as well bring him out. There he is.
Hey, Chris.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Misty. Hey, Greg. Spencer.
Hey, man.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you? You got it figured out
now.
huh?
Yeah, I had to switch my browsers and all that, shuffle around a couple things, and voila.
And here we are. Well, coming off of between Mark's show on Friday night, and then we were on after that, and then DA and Robbie's show last night. It just seems like we're always on YouTube.
Constantly. I have it playing like people's shows. I try to just turn them on. Y'all may not see me in chat, but I try to make sure I'm always hitting the thumbs up and, at least letting it play through whether I watch it or not. I'm trying to listen, but there's so many shows we follow. It's crazy trying to keep up with all of them.
And you created the Facebook page and the chat for the upcoming meet and greet. And you and I have been commenting and dealing with that all day yesterday on top of everything. It's just, and this morning. It's just, hey, Kenny Shivers. How are you? Anyway, it's just a lot to keep up with. It seems like we're always on Facebook or YouTube or something. But anyway, so, y'all, Mr. OG Chris Reinhardt here had a good idea for a show. And it's something that applies to a lot of people. And if nothing else, maybe you can just learn something from it or gain some information from it. But Chris and I were talking the other day, and he's like, what about a show on gifting? Because he's had results and had a lot of experience with the gifting thing. Now, me personally, I've put out stuff before. It's gotten taken. But you can't. You don't know necessarily what took it, not 100%. I will say there's something that I'm doing now that if it yields a bunch of results, which it's working right now, but if it yields really impressive results, I'm going to show you all that, but it's going to be a while from now because I just started it. But Reinhardt, what were your thoughts on this? How do you want to go about doing this? Start at the beginning of the whole gifting thing with you and how it worked and what you experienced.
Well, when I first started, it was all looking for the structures. I was just a beginner. I don't know how many, 9 years ago now. And once I got that first interaction with something in the forest, that was knocking on a tree or, throwing a stone at you or something, all of a sudden I got that it was more than looking for the signs of them being there at a certain point. It was more of getting that interaction now, trying to trigger that to where they would be there when we were there. So that's what started with I know a lot of people don't want them there, most, people don't want them around or anything, but that's what we wanted to see if we could, bring them in and experience them when when they were closer. So that's what got us into the gifting part. I'm a big fan of Angie, Snow White Bigfoot. I followed her show for a long time, and she's had some amazing stuff. She has some amazing evidence that she's captured over the years, especially those handprints that she's been logging now on her car, and all arm impressions and all that. So that's what we're trying to do, is, trying to get them to be around. So when we were around, we'd be able to interact with them. That's what got the whole gifting thing going.
Well, how'd you start out? Where at? Like describe for us the location that you chose, why you chose it, the first things that you started putting out, and how it went.
All right. So when we first started, we were at a place we called Rock Throw Alley, and we had some stuff going on there. And my buddy Larry said, I got all this property out in back of my house and nobody ever goes to. It's all private property. Why don't you come back here and check it out, and we'll see what we got. So we started hiking in back of his house, and we would do the same. We developed a pattern hike. It was very important. We picked out certain things that we would find along the way, and we would mark them on a map, and then we would revisit them. And then over time, the map came into a big, huge loop. I can share things that we used to find along the trail, structures and stuff like that. I can show you guys later. But so we made a big map, and we would follow the same pattern all the time, because that way we would notice if something was new, something was out of place, something was moved. And so then we would mark that on the map also. And over time, that's how we developed the pattern hike. We've got this big, huge loop. So we were looking for the gifting spot, and just by chance, we were walking down the trail one day, and off to our right-hand side, we got our first knocks. Plain as day knock. I got the video here I could play for you guys too. I got that loaded up. And we're walking down the trail, and then right off to our right-hand side, knock, knock. So we went into the woods where those knocks came from, and there was a big, huge stone, big, huge boulder there right in the middle of nowhere. And we decided to start gifting there, and we gifted there for 6 years, trading with them. We started at the top of the rock and ended up burying things under the ground, under stones and Tupperware containers. And we always made it harder for them to get at whatever it was we were giving them, just to prove that it took hands, to show that it took hands what was going on at that area.
Chris, can you like give us a clue or a hint, or even tell us what kind of items you did gift them?
We tried everything, Greg. We tried everything, and I'll tell you, they loved little plastic dinosaurs. It's like the older toys, the better. Like from the 1950s, the little plastic dinosaur toys you used to get, and they'll play with them, whatever. They loved them. They would take them all the time. Over time, we figured out that they loved red, delicious apples. Over time, we figured out that they loved peanut butter. They didn't like Granny Smith apples. We would put them in the trees, and they would rot. They would rot away. The deer, deer would never even come in that area. I mean, if there was a deer in that area, they would eat those Granny Smiths right up. But they would rot in the trees and stuff like that. So they liked the dinosaur toys. They played games with stones. We played games with stones with them too. We received stones from them and feathers. Larry was the homeowner, and down at his place, he had a wood furnace, and they would leave him raven feathers at the front of his furnace every day, or by his car door. The spots that he often frequented. So he would come out, and there'd be a raven feather sitting right at there, or at his car door, or in the barn, or in his wood shed, or places like that. So things like that over time.
Hold on. Let's slow down.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I get a little wound up, and I'm going to jump ahead about 400 years.
So, okay, the pattern hike, what you're describing as a pattern hike is whenever you travel the same route every time. Now, did you have like an announcement whistle or call that you would do?
Yep. You still use it to this day. We use it at Rock Throw Alley now too, and we get the same results with it. It's like they know it might be the same ones. It's not that far away.
So you had an area where you suspected that they were at, right?
Correct.
And you started hiking through there regularly. How often? Once a week? Every other week?
When we first started, it was 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay. And you were letting them know that you were there with a certain call whenever you got there. Now, did you go out to the extreme like some people where they wear the same clothes every time?
No. But we always wore camo, and then at the end we figured, they already knew that we were there. I mean,
right.
Obviously following us. So, what was the sense of wearing the camo? You're not going to fool them. But we would always wear camo. Larry would wear. I mean, I guess they were basically the same clothes because I always wore camo. But we didn't think of it that intensely. We were just trying to get the routine hike was enough because it let them know where we were heading, so they could get ahead of us or they could stay behind us, and there would be no surprises. That's what we wanted. No surprises.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really important part of it. How long were you doing the routine hike before you got that first couple knocks? And then you
3
walked
months.
down?
3 months.
So you were going there several times a week for 3 months before they said hello?
Yep. But we would get structures. We were finding like manipulated structures. We found like a little arch that was stuck in a stump, and it came out and then it was stuck in the ground. And that doesn't happen naturally. You don't take a stick and bend it like that and put it in the stump. And it's in one of my videos. I don't remember which one. And we would find like little teepees and big X's and stuff like that. And just things out of place every time we would go. Things would move. Things were different. And then once we started noticing that over time, I think that's what got them to realize that we were watching what they were doing or whatever. Again, we don't know what was doing it because I never had a visual there. Larry and his wife had them, but I never had a visual of them there. I could only assume.
So
Chris,
what was it?
Well, go ahead. I was just going to ask, Chris, did any of these people or y'all or the other people, did anybody ever have any belligerent encounters or anything like that?
Well, we experimented with meat for a little while. We were gifting meat, and they would look forward to the meat. They would come every day for the meat. Like, we would go every day. But once we stopped one time for 2 weeks because the weather was bad and everything, they started slapping Larry's house. And then we put one and one together, said, hey, I think they're looking for the meat. I don't think this is a good thing to do. Let's stop. Because Larry's wife was like, no, I don't want this going on at the house. And we ended up stopping the meat after a while. So that was really the only time that they showed any kind of aggression was when they slapped the side of the house that time. And, I think that was because they would like the meat. We were giving them bone marrow. I mean, they were getting the goods that they really liked, and they would never touch a hot dog. They would never eat a hot dog ever there.
Wow.
They would sit in the package. I mean, like I said, we put things in Tupperware containers, and we were burying them, 8 inches, 10 inches in the ground and piling rocks on top of it, sealed. And they were still fine. They were coming and taking the rocks off. I mean, I got pictures. I'll show you. And they would take the rocks off and pop the lid off of the Tupperware container because they knew what we were doing. And they would never take those hot dogs. So that tells you if you're a hot dog eater, you might want to think twice.
Yeah. Now, Chris, did y'all ever find any like handprints, footprints, stuff like that?
I got a picture right here. Let me see if I can share it with you. I got a picture of a handprint right here. Let's see, how do I do this? Share screen. Which one am I going to share here? Select window. Let's see what this one is.
Christy, they love the enchiladas.
Well, I'm just curious too here in a second on what they actually did with the containers and stuff. Did they leave with them or leave them there?
That's what I was going to ask. They put the lid back on. They cover it back up.
Did it come through? Oh, you got to let me in. See me down there.
Hold on. I can just add it right there.
Oh, hang on. Let me take the banner off.
Why is it moving on me? Hold on, they moved the screen moved on me.
Don't show nothing you're not supposed to. Now we already had a PG-13 headed to R-rated show the other night.
Yeah. Oh, I seen that. I missed out on the shirtless videos, the shirtless episode.
No, that wasn't. No, look, you're going to confuse people. That was not on here.
No, that was.
What have you been watching, Chris?
That was
Here we go.
Sleepy Jeff Yarrington posting video or posting pictures.
Here we go.
All right, I got to switch screens because it's messing up on me, the picture. I got to switch screens. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, while you're looking for it, what did they do? What did they do to the containers? Did they take them? Did they leave them? Did they put them back?
Oh, they left them. They would just pop the lid off and take what was inside. I got pictures of that too and video. Where am I here? Is it on the home page? Nope. What the frick? Sorry, guys. There it is.
You'd think Spencer would have done better about already asking for this stuff.
No, Chris.
No, I told him I would just share it because it'd be easier, but I just...
See, shut up, squirrel.
I'm good now. There you go.
You shut
There
up
you
too,
guys
Robbie.
There you go. It's up. There's the handprint.
All right, let's look here. Oh, wow.
Dang.
So he was dug in. It was like that was on a bank. And to me, it looked like he was spraining up at something. Like his hand was put in front of him and he dug his 5 fingers in there because you can see the tips of his fingers. They were in the ground and he pressed down there. That was like twice the size of my hand. I don't know. Probably was like, I would say it was probably about 10 inches, I would say, from palm to fingertip. But that was on the side of a bank. And I went back to... I didn't have it. This is when I first started, so I never brought casting stuff. I never thought I would find any of this stuff. You know what I mean? I was excited for it, but I thought I would never find it. And I never brought casting, so I marked it, and I went back home the next day, and I ran out, and we had thunderstorms coming in the next night, and I ran and tried to get to the spot before the thunderstorms happened, and I didn't make it, and it got washed away. But that's all I got right there, and it was a heartbreaker because I think we had a good handprint right there.
Chris, on that, I mean, I don't know if you could tell or not, but like on that handprint, was the thumb kind of like our thumbs, or did the thumb seem like it was further down?
It was like a L. Yeah, it was like that, spread out farther.
Yeah, I know some people talk about the handprint be like this part of the hand would be longer. It'd be like the longer part of the palm of the hand, and they say it so it makes it look like the thumb's further down here.
Right. It looked like a square, like it was a square edge at the bottom instead of rounded like ours would be.
Yeah.
But it was like right on the bank, and I could just picture him sitting there squatting, waiting for something to spring up at, because he was dug in. That was they were in 2 inches, those fingertips. So that was a pretty cool.
Ever give whole chicken with a chem light?
Where do you put the chem light?
Yeah.
Where do you think it goes?
Why? Why would you put a chem light in it?
Light it up.
Educate me on that.
I don't know. Which now I've heard of people hanging up chem lights and them messing with them. I don't know.
We tried leaving them whistles and noise makers to think that, Larry would be out walking his dog one night and they might be using it, walking the trails at night, but we never had any luck.
A kazoo.
A kazoo or a bell. We would show them how to ring it or anything, but we never had nothing like that worked out. But Larry's wife used to see him while she was washing the dishes, walk the creek. There was a creek right in back of Larry's house, and they would come down, and she would see him walk the creek and scoot back up the hill.
Is that kind of how they found out that these things are figured out they were on the property? They just see them, or did they?
They never knew until we started going up there.
Oh wow!
Yep. So yeah, they never knew they were there until we started. I think we might have brought them there. And we might have attracted them. I don't think they would live there. I think they were passing through, and they knew the spot. I don't think they were there all the time.
Well, did they have stuff going kind of year round? I mean, or was it a certain season that they were having encounters?
We would have. That was the best part about the gifting area. That's another reason why we did. We wanted to figure out their patterns, when they were there, when they weren't. And in the fall time, like everywhere else, they would be here a lot. Yeah. And they were, in my opinion, they were gathering because we would have fields of mushrooms, just a field of mushrooms one day, and we would come back the next day and the mushrooms would be all gone. Yeah. I mean, nothing's going to sit there and eat that many mushrooms in one night without a bellyache. I don't care how big you are. I mean, there was a lot of mushrooms. And
did you
the peanut butter jars?
Did you gift them anything that they took that wasn't food? Did you gift them like colored rocks or mirrors or feathers or anything like that? Take?
Like I said, they took the dinosaur toys. They took a monkey.
Yeah,
they took a stuffed monkey we had in a tree, and they brought it back. Yeah, they brought it back a year later, the same week.
Do you have a picture of that monkey?
I do.
You've talked about that quite a bit, and that's a good story. While you're looking for that, tell that story about you put it out there and a year later.
So it was Larry. Larry brought it up there because he always thought that they would take the monkey and I gotta find it now. So we tried it, and they played in the tree. We would tie it. There would be a stick straight up. And we would tie its arms together on the stick. And this is 10 feet in the air. And it would sit on the stick. We would come up and that monkey would be off the stick and on the ground with its arms still tied. So whatever it was lifting that monkey up over 15 feet, up over that branch and taking it off and putting it on the ground.
Or it just untied it and tied it back.
Well, yeah, we found them. They used to tie things and untie things at the gifting spot too. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this real quick. I thought I had it in here, but it's not.
Y'all, just so you know, this is the problem. Chris is used to doing his show real professional, and he cuts it down to an hour, and he tries to fit all of this stuff into a 1 hour show with somebody else talking also. So he's got 30 minutes to get all this stuff out, and now he just skips over all the details. And you got
Chris will spend a week testing 3 different times with people, and Spencer's like, "Oh, we'll be here 10 minutes before you come on."
Spencer didn't tell him that. I said, you do this all the time. Get on 15 or 20 minutes before you know what you're doing. And he had a problem getting on. And your link to him didn't work neither, so shut it.
No, you guys got a great show. You guys don't. There's nothing for. I just did the show to talk to people like yourselves. That's the only reason I do it. I don't want to be the man. I don't want to be any Mr. Popular guy. I just want to learn as much as I can because I think awareness needs to happen throughout everywhere. People need to be aware that these guys can be 10, 12 feet away from you when you're walking down the hiking trail. I mean, my wife won't even go in the forest anymore. That's 6 years she hasn't been back in the forest. Just won't go.
That's another story you got to talk about because you and Greg have that in common where House walked right by one and it growled and scared the shit out of him right as he got there. That's another one that you and him find the picture of the monkey, Chris, so we can move on to the next part.
I got so many pictures. I can't find the monkey picture.
Fade Spencer's monkey fetish.
But all it is a black and tan little stuffed monkey. That's all it was. It's just, and he tied him in a tree, and that's all we did. We didn't make anything fancy except bury him at the end. But
that's interesting. When you buried it, is that when they took it and they brought it back a year later when you buried it?
No, they brought it back a year later, and it was at a nest. They made a nest, like a bedding nest. I got the video, I think, loaded up here. I'm going to find that. That'll be the best way to do it.
See, y'all, damn it, I'm froze up again. You have to pry the answers out of Chris. They brought it back a year later, and it was in a nest, a bedding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I forget all about that stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I I had it all loaded up. I don't know where it went. Ugh.
You know, the thing about it, Chris, the statements you just made about forgetting about a lot of stuff, it's hard for people to understand, especially people that's only had maybe one encounter or two, because that's totally ingrained in their mind and they're only thinking about one or two instances. But when you're out with these things a lot and you have a lot of encounters, the stuff goes to blending together, and things that other people would remember, it tends to, you just got so much stockpile memories. Sometimes it takes something to jog your memory on certain things. And that I know exactly how that is.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. Like, I'm jumping all over the place because I'm trying to, like Spencer said, trying to fit it all in. But you're exactly right. That it turned into that. Like at first, like I started off, I said it started off as us just looking for tree structures and that. And then once we started getting the interactions, and then it turned into getting those interactions all the time. What can we do next for them to come in? What can we get them to throw stones at us? What can we do to do all this? And that's what it turned into.
One of my biggest regrets is, for the last almost 25 years now, is that I didn't have a ledger. And I don't know how many notebooks I could have filled up by now, but I didn't. And I still don't do it. And that is
you don't even set out a damn recorder or take pictures or anything.
Why would I?
You're being a jerk to the rest of the Bigfoot community.
I should. I'll text you guys and be like, oh, guess what just happened, or whatever. And I should be taking notes. I don't do it. I'm the world's worst about that.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like, like Troy Allen or Kumbo, they're just out there experiencing it. They don't record a whole lot. They don't document a whole lot. And at the end of the day, if they don't write a book, at least Kane is documenting all of his stuff. But at anal retention, documenting all his stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to Kane.
I'm sorry.
Chris,
I like doing it, but I can't do all that.
Chris documents his stuff.
Okay, all right. I got a really good video. Now, this is at the beginning. This was a structure that we found right at the beginning, right when we first started, and then we could never, ever find it again. We found it once and never, ever. We looked for it, and we could never find it again. This is good. So, let me get to the right screen here. Get rid of this screen here. Right. I'll get this down now. So I'm used to being on the other side, and it's easier that way. All right. No, that ain't it.
You know what's bad is Chris is doing this, and he feels like he's unorganized, and he's like 10 times more organized than we ever been.
Yeah. We're the most unprofessional out of all of it, and we're giving everybody else hell.
I know JR was excited about this one. He thinks a lot of Chris. He likes when watching his stuff.
Why don't JR have a seat right by you today?
He won't.
Why?
I don't know. He just won't.
Drag him in there. He can make a graceful appearance anyway.
He won't.
We got to make
sure he's a great guy.
I mean, we got to make sure he's okay, that he's not giving the.
I don't. JR likes Chris. I don't understand why Misty's always hating on you.
I know. Where the heck did it? How come?
I don't know. I don't know. I try, but some people I just don't like. I can't.
Yes. JR, see how slingshot.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on here.
That's fine.
No, it won't let me share screen. Something's going on.
Oh, they don't want it to be seen. You can't show it.
Men in Black.
All right, here, let's try this one here. I want to. Oh, come on. Why won't it do it? It won't let me do it.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, these people still having encounters with these things now?
Well, the property ended up getting sold 2 years ago, and we haven't we couldn't go back up there. Larry actually got caught with a machete one day walking through the trails back there on trail camera, and all the cops came to his house and everything, and we could never get back in there. So we don't know if they're still there or not. They haven't come to the house.
Well, let me ask you this: how big a piece of property was this? Was it small or big or what?
It was 86 acres.
Okay.
Oh, no, see, no, I shouldn't say that. Larry, a month ago, got a stone left for him at his wood shop. That's what happened. That's the latest thing that's happened. But that's the first thing that's happened in over a year.
Wow.
And we got to go into talking about the other stuff, the stuff that you've had, the responses that you had, what they left you.
Okay, just right. Yep. Let me just see if I can do this one more time. I'm sorry. I really wanted to show this one. Share screen.
Next time, whenever I say you can send me pictures or video, no, I'll do it from my end.
Yeah, it won't let me do it. It won't switch over for some reason.
You know, shit, he wouldn't have done it anyways. He'd have sent it to me and been like, Misty, put this together.
Yeah,
I do it most of the time.
That's exactly true.
I do it most of the time, and you know it.
Greg.
I'm just going to tell you, I'll just be honest. I don't do nothing.
No, house don't.
You're honest.
I don't need to lie about it. I just sit here and try to look good.
We're lucky that House shows up at the meet and greets and cooks for everybody.
No doubt.
All right. Well, it won't let me do it anymore. That stinks.
That's fine. We'll get it. You can do a show on your channel about this subject where you have it all ready to go and everything.
Oh, it's in videos on my channel. You can go see first year at the Gift Rock. Yeah. You can go see new beginnings. It's all in there. I have this one tree that's along the pattern hike, and there would be a limb that was laying up on the root ball. It was a down tree, and one time you would come up, it would be on the left hand side. The next time you would come up, it would be on the right hand side. We went up there on Thanksgiving one time, and the thing was balanced on the root ball like this. Just the wind was howling, it was just rocking back and forth like that. It was unreal. But they would switch it all the time, and they left us a stone there. That was our first gift that was left for us, was this white quartz stone. I have it.
Hey, Neoma.
So right here is the first stone that they left for me. I've given off pieces to people. See, I broke off a chunk of it, but it's all quartz. And this was left at a tree that we visited along the pattern hike at all times. And one time we walked up through there, and it was just laying right on the ground. It wasn't even wet underneath. There was no dew on it. It was probably there for an hour. They knew we would come through, and it was just laying there.
That's crazy.
You can see that in the videos.
Thank you. Stop it. Thank you, Patrick. We'll use it towards the meet and greet, brother. Appreciate it.
Oh man, Patrick's been messaging about the meet and greet food situation.
So that's some pretty good, exciting stuff.
What else?
Meet and greet coming up.
Well, what else? Yeah, we'll talk about that. What else did they leave you?
Oh, we had feathers and rocks and stones, and there was a crystal rock that was always up there that we left there, and they would take it and they would bring it back, and they would take it and they would bring it back. It was a game. They would bring it back. We used to put rocks on top of peanut butter containers like this on the root ball of this down tree that was right there, and then we would come. The peanut butter would be gone, and there would be a rock just left right on the root ball. So whatever was taking the rock off, taking the peanut butter, and putting the rock down, because there's no bear that was doing that trick. It wasn't a raccoon. Just stuff like that. And we only found, over 6 years, one peanut butter jar.
Yeah. Oh, shit. That's what I was trying to put. I didn't know Misty already had it up there.
Stop telling me to work the buttons, and then you keep touching them. I'm going to break your little grubby fingers next time.
It was good. Shush. Look, I just try. Leave it alone. Children.
Chris, I apologize that you have to deal with Spencer. I'm just going to say
that's okay. That's
okay. Did they always leave the stuff at that one tree trunk, or did they did they spread it out? Did they have more locations where they left the gifts for
no,
you?
Only at the Rock and at Larry's house were the only other two spots they would leave stuff. We found a twig, like a twig, like, I don't know. I don't even know. Thin little twig that you could snap off a branch, 6 inches stuck in the ground with 4 inches of it up out of the ground, stuck in the ground, just poking out like this, right at the bank where we walk in. There was a big X right there at the entrance, and they left us 2 stones there too.
You count a twig being stuck in the ground as them?
Yep.
Okay.
There's the other stone that they left for us at the bottom of that X. Well, we count it that way because it was stuck. How can you get a twig that size 5 inches into the ground?
If a branch has the twig sticking off of it and the branch falls and it happens to be muddy and soft, and then maybe the branch breaks off and rolls over.
Well, there was no other branches there.
I can give him hell. He's my friend. But
no, I understand what you're saying, but it's just, it's right where we walk in. It's right where we go. It's right on the pattern hike. We never found another one. Angie finds them in her place too. The little, I mean, I'm talking twig, like a little shoot coming off of it. Like you could tie a knot with a twig, that kind, not a stiff twig, like a little, I don't know how you would refer to it, but
okay.
it wouldn't stick in the ground by itself. So,
all right.
Anyway,
thank you, Christy. House, did you see her comment?
No, I didn't see what it was.
So this kind of ruins everything without being able to show the videos or any of that. So
doesn't ruin anything.
I don't understand.
I'd much rather have beer than Spencer.
Well, and since gifting is kind of, in a way, I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of a communication between you and them. Why don't you also talk about some of the stuff that you've done here in the past couple years with recording some of the anomalous stuff that you've recorded on audio and the frequencies and that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a chance that somebody that's watching our channel has not watched your channel. So why don't you real quick touch on like some of the stuff that you've recorded and the audio stuff?
Well, over the years, when we always started, we've always we started, not when I first started, but probably a year in, we started carrying the recorders with us all the time on our backpacks. We realized how important it was, and it was a great tool to have with us. And we would carry them all the time. And we started noticing that we were picking up like voices that weren't there, EVPs, ghost voices, spirit voices, or whatever you want to think that was making them. So over the years, we've collected a good amount of them. I think I got some even loaded up. You can hear right now. And we started, where's the tie? Why are we picking up EVPs while we're out looking for Bigfoot? Are they tied together? Or is it all linked together? Are they all using the same pathways or any? I'm not gonna explain, go too much into my beliefs because everybody's entitled to their own, and I don't knock anybody for the way they believe.
Kathy McSwain really enjoys your show.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had to take a break. I was getting hammered on. I needed to take a breather. There's nothing, if anybody is wondering about Untold Radio, there is no ill will with anybody. We still all talk, and we're actually going to Snow Grove in a couple weeks again, all together. There's nothing that, no falling out, none of that business went on. It's all still... Yeah, so it's all still the same. So we realized we were getting all those EVPs, and we started linking things together, and then we started bringing out our radio frequency meters out with us on our investigations. My friend Chris Connor got me going on that, and we started getting radio frequency readings while we were having stones thrown at us. And then when we would go back and listen to the rocks being thrown at us, we would hear voices. And then the voices started to progress to where they were answering us. And then they started mimicking us. They started repeating the same words that we were saying. And
Chris is the first person I've ever known of to say anything or to start experimenting with the RF meter. He's one of the originals on that. There might have been somebody else that tried it at the same time or somebody that kept quiet about it, but he was definitely one of the first persons to start talking publicly about using it. I went out and got an RF meter because of him. We had some crazy experiences with it. I don't break it out all the time. Chris does it. One thing about Chris, and if you're not subscribed to his channel right there, Discover Sasquatch, you really should. But one thing about Chris that is 1,000% true is he is very, very innovative in the Bigfoot world. He is constantly trying new technology, new methods, and stuff like that. He's very on point on that. If you want to listen to somebody that's constantly testing new equipment, new theories, 1,000% check out his channel. Chris is the man in that end as far as it goes. Also, if you happen to be watching this and you have a YouTube channel, Chris does a lot of stuff with the like the CGI and the AI and making the logos and intros and all that kind of stuff. Chris is the one that made our intro, and he makes a lot of our stickers and banners and that kind of stuff. So you need to hit him up on that if you want something custom done.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, had to throw that out there while I thought about it.
Yeah, very kind words.
Hey, what did Dave say? Can you expand on the use of the RF meter and what results were yielded?
So what we have is a broadband RF meter. We don't have the high tech RF meters. We have like a $250 model, but it does pick up the microwaves. It picks up. What we're basically registering is radiation. So while we're having stones thrown at us out in the forest, we're registering radiation hitting us on a broadband. We had a guy that worked for a satellite company for 30 years reach out to us. And he said, listen, I did the research on the meters that you guys are using. I did all the math. And he says, there is no way that you guys should be registering those numbers with that meter out in the middle of the forest unless you had a government drone above your head. And of course, we didn't have a government drone above our head. He says 16.00 mega. I forgot what the megahertz. I can't remember how the technology, but MHGZ. But anyways, go ahead.
I was just going to say, was it? I don't think it's megahertz. I was going to say, I think
no, it's not megahertz. It's
microfarads.
No, it's not that either. But I'd have to go grab it. But anyways, we're not 16 point and above. We're not supposed to be. That doesn't happen on its own. Anything under that can be radio stations, all that stuff. Anything 16 and above, government drones.
Thank you, Earl.
And that's about it. So we're getting belted with a pretty good high level of radiation. And it's not, and it hasn't happened just here in Connecticut. It's happened in Florida. It's happened in Ohio. It's happened in a few other spots all across America. What's doing it? I don't know. Is it Bigfoot doing it? I don't know, because I don't know if it's Bigfoot that's throwing the stones at us. I could be spirits, it could be ghosts, it could be anything. I know it's not humans. I know it's not humans because it's just we would see them. We can't see what's throwing these stones at us, and we have them recorded. I'm going to play a clip for you right now. This is at the top of my mountain, and it's called Rock Throw Alley. And we were up there one day, and you'll hear the stone will come in right off the bat, and then I will say that they're here. Now listen for a couple more phrases, and then you'll hear something say they're here, and it's none of us. So hopefully this will play loud enough for everybody. Now we sent that to Spencer to look at. They're here. Now that last they're here wasn't any of us there. We didn't throw the stone. That's all on video too. You can see that on my channel when we're sitting at the top of the mountain when that all happens. It happens often. The RF meter tops off. We had it top off for 15 minutes one time, getting hit with that much radiation for 15 minutes straight. Was pretty incredible. So we're using the RF meters. I just invested in a ghost box because I want to start seeing if we can ask questions and get answers. We're starting to lean a little bit more towards the whole paranormal side gathering. Again, I don't know if it's Bigfoot. I don't know what it is, but like Spencer was saying, we're trying to just keep us open and our minds open and see if we can figure something out. So with all this frequency stuff that we're experimenting and everything else, we actually have come up with something, and I've actually talked to a few people about it, and Spencer knows about it, and there's a few others know about it. Kimbo knows about it, and it works. We have tried it. We just tried it recently in Florida. I can't tell anybody what it is because I don't want anybody getting hurt. We don't know if it's 100% right yet, but we put it out in Florida. We got it back. We got the same frequency back at us. We heard it. It was in the air. And then 10 minutes later, 3 of us were growled at and approached by something big in the swamp.
Chris, on like the radiation you're talking about, like it spiked for 15 minutes or whatever. So that, I mean, if you go out there and you're not having anything, and then all of a sudden the meter spikes up and stays for a while and then it stops, that's really eliminating like anything like uranium being in the soil and it's just there, where that would be something continuous all the time. That's something that's coming in there and either starting up and then stopping, or coming through and leaving. I mean, that's pretty significant to me. That's because if it was something natural giving off radiation, it would be a constant.
Right. Hold on. We have to touch on several of these comments real quick. First of all, Chris, do you know Brian Seach in Pennsylvania?
No.
Because Mary is saying that the research parallels his. Back up here with, was it Ken? Ken, did you make a comment about ley line? Yeah, ley lines are significant and could have something to do with readings. We take a lot of that into account. Ley lines, aquifers, all kinds of stuff. We're looking at all of that kind of stuff. We just don't talk about it real often because everybody else is going to start talking about it. Damn it, I froze up again. Hold on one second.
Chris, do y'all use a REM pod or anything like that when you go out?
We're actually going to bring one to Snellgrove with us.
Yeah. See, that's stuff I've been talking to Sherry and him about, some of the stuff like that taken. And what about the little like cat balls? Have you tried those?
Yeah, I have them in my backpack.
Well, Chris, I know this is not as sophisticated as your RF meter and all that stuff, but have y'all ever experienced the magnetic compass going crazy or anything?
Yep. So I was out with Al Santariga at his place he calls the Sacred Site last summer. And we had something go on at that place that it was reminding me of the Poltergeist movie. The clouds came in, it got dark. It was crazy. And he had a compass and it put it at the bottom of my feet. And that thing just spun in circles and circles and circles and circles. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And he had dowsing rods. And every time he would walk away from me, the dowsing rods would point back at me the whole time we were there. It was a crazy night. Yeah, it was a crazy night.
But that does happen at certain spots on Earth. It's just geomagnetic forces can cause it to happen. I mean, that does happen at certain spots. But one of the things that David Hughes brought up, since we were talking about the radiation and everything, one of the things that David Hughes brought up was there is a significant number of people that go out and research these things that end up getting diagnosed with cancer or other crazy ailments. And it makes you wonder if a lot of this stuff isn't connected. You know, if whenever people talk about being zapped with infrasound, you know, does that infrasound have a radioactive quality to it? We don't know. We don't know. And I mean, some of this stuff, and it goes from the physical and the scientific and the stuff that you can document into the weird stuff where you get into, is this stuff supernatural? So, I mean, you have to ask yourself, are the boogers supernatural? Are they attracted to places where supernatural activity happen? I mean, Chris, you've had stuff happen that's not really booger related, but is more, I don't even know, alien related and supernatural related. You know, so does it come down to, like everybody in the field says, they know when you know? Does it come down to where you're marked and they're picking on you and they show you stuff? What are your personal thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. It's crazy, and I can't figure. I'm not like I said, I'm not a big educated man. I'm just a little guy that works 40 hours out in the country and doing my thing, and I don't know much about much, but I go where the evidence has taken me. Now, I started off, I thought these guys were all flesh and blood. I mean, I swear that's what I thought. And I was out and I was going to get the footage and I was going to be the man and I was going to get that camera, because how hard could it be? And now 9 years later, I have totally flipped on what I think is going on. I just think a different way, just because what has happened to me. Now, does it happen to everybody that way? I'm sure it doesn't. But to me, it has, and I have to go where the evidence leads, because that's all we got to go on. I'm not making stuff up. I'm not like saying I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to treat these guys like a ghost, or I'm going to use these devices. No, what led up to this point is what we were gathering along the way, you know, and it all started back when we started gifting. I mean, that itself, we were in the middle of the forest. It took us an hour and a half to get to our gifting area. It wasn't on the side of the road. It was a spot that we never saw another human for 6 years, ever, never saw another human in there. And we had some pretty wild stuff go on there. We had trees pushed over. We had something that jumped out of a tree in there one day, and it landed on the ground and it shook the ground. And Larry got up and went to his bag and grabbed his machete. I have never seen him do that before. And he's like, did you just hear that? He goes, I'm grabbing my machete. I said, well, whatever that was, it was pretty big. It jumped out of a tree, we gathered. But then it just progressed after that. And then the gifting. And then we found out that they were intelligent. You know, they were smart. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they wanted. They knew what they didn't want. They knew they were organized. If they weren't organized, they would get caught all the time. So we gathered that and we put that in our hats. And then we would get the EVPs and we'd start listening to the EVPs. And then it just started progressing. And then Chris told me about the meters. So we got the meters. We run the meters. Now we're getting hits off the meters and we're getting EVPs and we're getting they're imitating us and they're mimicking us. And they know my whistle. And I have a recording that they mimic my whistle. They know my whistle now. We've brought people, do you know, what was the guy what was that podcast? He's an Irish guy. What was his name? Oh, I can't remember, but he had a podcast and he came from Mass one time and he came down to see what went on at our area. And when he came to our area, things got crazy. We were having stones thrown at us and the RF meter was going off crazy and they were trying to break into his phone. I don't know if a lot of people have that experience, but that's what's going on with us. Whatever it is tapping into our phones.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. Stop right there.
I've got video of where it happened to us too. Just started recording and it's all in like fast forward, just little clips of just randomness.
Right.
Is that what you meant? Did you mean vocally or like it messed with your camera? What did you mean by it tapped into your phone?
It's leaving messages on our phones. We were in Florida just, a couple weeks ago in the Green Swamp, and I forgot what the conversation. Chris was talking to Tim T, and they were talking about something, and he said something about they know who you are or anything or something. I forgot the name of the question. And Chris, his phone beeps, and he takes out his phone and he got the message. He goes, "Yes, we do." How does that come up on your phone like that in the middle of nowhere? I don't know if that's the exact message, but that was what it was, close enough. I mean, that's what came about. They were answering him. And what is that? What is doing that to your phones? I mean, that makes you wonder right there. I'm not saying it's Bigfoot at all.
No.
But what's going on out there is getting crazy. I mean, that's creepy stuff. Something that can get into your phone, turn your phone off, play videos. It's a wild experience. So
okay, so nobody's going to understand this, but this has something to do with somebody I talked to this past week. And if you end up watching this show, that right there, what he just said. And for anybody that is listening to this, if you have ever been out there in an active area, and I'm going to go ahead and call it like high strangeness, where stuff like you get a phone call or a voicemail, or you're on the phone and something interrupts the phone and you're hearing something other than the other person. If you're hearing weird sounds and stuff like that, I would really, really, really like to hear about that, because I don't want to go into all the detail because the person doesn't want to talk about it, but that's really coincidental that you even brought that up. That's super spooky and strange. And see, to me, a lot of this stuff, man, is it the boogers are in a supernatural area, or is it that I keep saying that there are a lot of people out there that are sensitive and they just pick up on stuff. They can feel things. They can feel the boogers. They can feel supernatural forces, all that kind of stuff. I'm not. I mean, I'm just redneck, but there are people out there that can feel energies and frequencies and maybe stuff that's hidden in different dimensions, but it's right there. I don't even know how to explain it, but it seems like a lot of this stuff goes hand in hand. Once your eyes are opened to the Bigfoot thing, it's like you start experiencing other stuff. And I know that gets out there into crazy land, but I swear, y'all, if you do this stuff for, X amount of years, and the more you're exposed to it, the more you start seeing, experiencing weird shit that is not necessarily Bigfoot related. It's like it all gets piled in there.
Well, I'm going to just say this. When people start trying to cram Bigfoot into a little bitty box, you better throw that little bitty box away and go get you a cargo container.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
100% right. And we'll go back to the gifting again. I'll tell you something weird. I got sick. My gallbladder went on me and I couldn't make it back to the gifting area for like a month and a half. Well, one day I come downstairs and my wife goes, "What's at the back door?" And I'm like, "Oh, I can't." I'm looking out the back window. I'm like, "I have no idea what's at the back door." I go down the back door. There is a coyote leg, freshly ripped off the dog, left at my back door. Now, the only thing I can put one and one together is that they came to me and left something for me because I wasn't going up to see them. Now, there's other stuff that's happened here since then, and that's even with hummingbird feeders and stuff like that. It's been great. But Maria, my wife, she doesn't want nothing to do with any of this, and she's the one that's experiencing it. But to find a coyote, I mean, it was I have pictures. I wish I could share. I got them all loaded up, man. I got them all loaded up, and I can't show them. It was blood. Blood was coming off of the back of the leg. It was meat. I mean, it was ripped off the poor dog and left at my back door.
A whole coyote leg.
A whole coyote leg.
Or even even a dog. But a dog coyote leg was left at your back door.
Yep.
how far away? Like right whenever you walk out the door?
Yeah, you walk 10 feet. You open up the door, the coyote leg's right there. And then I take it because Maria doesn't want it by the back door, and I threw it in the forest. And I went to go. I work where I live, so I went to go get the guys at work to show them it. I come back 10 minutes later, and the coyote leg's gone. Gone. Couldn't find it anywhere. I have pictures. The leg, the foot, right where the foot is snapped. Like you grab the foot like this, like snapped the foot and ripped it. I mean, it was gross, man. It was the grossest thing. But that's not an everyday experience. How do you explain that? How do you, well, you know what I mean? I don't know it was a Bigfoot, but what was it? Wasn't my neighbor. I can tell you that. They didn't come over and bring me a coyote leg. But like Greg said, when you try to put this in a little tiny box, you put in a little tiny box, you can't. You can't because there's so much to it. And I can't say that was a Bigfoot because I didn't see him do it. You know, I'll be the first to say that half this stuff I don't think is Bigfoot. I think it's something else. I think it's alien type stuff that's going on. I think they're out in the forest too. But do they walk the same path? I believe so. I believe they use the energies or the same pathways or the aquifers. I believe I'm a huge aquifer believer. The quartz and the water and all that is just a high energy. But how else can you explain it? I've never seen them cloak. I've never seen them disappear. I've never seen anything do that. I've seen two crafts. Maria was with me both times. We've seen the crafts. Unreal. It just has progressed since I started, and it hasn't stopped. And
it's almost like if you read any of the metaphysical, spiritual, magical stuff, it's almost like you get indoctrinated into you get accepted into this other world where they show you stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
All right, so we're not in charge. I don't care what anybody says. If you think we're in charge, we ain't in charge. We could be gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? Snap of the fingers.
Chris, I want to ask you something. You know, something that we kicked around for a few years now. Some like me and Coonbo and Troy Allen. You know, and I've talked with Misty and Spencer. But you know, we wondered if maybe these things can absolutely see the aura around a person, and it may be somebody's aura may be a different color or something sets you apart from other people, and they're drawn to certain people for that. And we also thought about that maybe certain people, you may have more of a negative charge or more of a positive charge to your electrical system in your body. And that makes us stand out to these things. You got any thought on any of that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I talked to Tim about it too, Kumbo, for a long time. And no, I'm on board with that. I think they can see your aura. I think they can see your glow. I think that's what it's all about. Your glow, your tick, who you are. They can tell who you are. They can tell if you're a kind, gentle person. They can tell what you're after. They can tell what your intentions are. And if you say like yourselves, you guys have interactions all the time where you're at. You're a great guy. You guys are good people. I mean, you're the salt of the earth. You would feed the hungry. You do whatever it would take. And there's a reason for that, and they see that, and they like to be around that, and I think they're drawn to that. And then there's others that go out and do it and would never, ever in a million years experience what I've experienced in a lifetime in 2 months. You know what I mean? And that's just because of who they are, and you know what? That's just my thoughts. And if you're not a good person, they're not going to come around. I don't think. I don't know that. That's just my opinion, and I agree with you. I think they can see your aura. I think they can tell who you are, and I think the more that they like your aura and who you are and enjoy you being around, the more they'll come to you and be around and share what they can share with you.
Well, but do you subscribe to the possibility that there are different types of them, and there are different types of things out there? And I mean, I would venture to go out on a leg. I have no proof for this. I have nothing to back it up. Damn it, Chris, I keep freezing up. Chris, what's wrong with my computer? You know all this
I
kind
don't
of
know.
stuff.
I can't get on my pictures. I don't understand what happened there either.
Well, no, that's because our channel is plagued by the damn government getting in here because either they're bored or they just get entertained by watching us. It's one or the other. But hey, would you subscribe to the fact that, or I shouldn't say the fact, would you subscribe to the possibility that there are different things out there? Some things I think feed off your fear, your anxiety. I think some things see you and they do recognize that you're a more benevolent, caring kind of person and they're attracted to that. But I definitely think that boogers, I mean, I could go way left field and talk about the red first generation night vision goggles that the military used where the dicyanide dye is not available anymore, and it's really suspicious that all the countries banned the chemical components to be able to make that kind of stuff because people were seeing into another dimension. That goes way out there, but I'll bring it back home by saying it's interesting that boogers, like, for example, they know where your head is and they'll slap on the wall or tap the tent right there where your head is. Kumbo has said many times that they are the master of intimidation if they want to be. And it just seems like a lot of this stuff goes into a realm where they're reading energy. I mean, I would even go so far as to say little stuff like game cameras, they can sense it. They can feel it. I don't think it comes down to the IR. I don't think it's, I mean, maybe it's the EMF, but I think that they are sensing and manipulating energy on a whole different level. I've had the damn things, at least in my opinion, drain batteries on recorders, cameras, cell phones, all that kind of stuff, and just other inexplainable weird stuff. And a bunch of us have experienced weird stuff dealing with energy and electronics and all that kind of stuff. And some way, somehow, they're doing something. I just don't know how to define it.
Yeah. I think there's different stages. I think the real giants can't live around us. I don't think they can live down here. I think they're the fallen angels. I really truly believe that there are giants, the Nephilim, still on this earth from way back when. But I think they live farther north where they can walk around. If you're 20 foot tall, you can't walk around downtown anywhere. You know what I mean? They couldn't walk down Winchester, Connecticut, where I am, 20-foot giant. But up there where there's nothing, they could roam pretty well free and live in caves and do whatever they want. And I think down here they're just a hybrid of some sort or whatever. But I still think they all got that special gene in them, that angel or whatever you want to call it, or whatever your beliefs are. But I think that's how they can see the auras and all that stuff. And
let me throw a redneck theory out at y'all on something. I just want your input on it. You know, everybody talks about infrasound, and you know we can prove that infrasound is real. You know, it's sound waves and it's on a certain frequency, and that affects people. Well, the thing with me, you'll have a group of people that go out, and the people will be standing really close, and that infrasound will affect just one person, or it may affect this person for a second and they get sick. Well, then here in a minute, it affects this guy. It's almost like it's being directed or focused on a certain person at a certain time instead of just like the whole blanket group of people. And then also, I wonder if what we're chalking up as infrasound could be, instead of sound waves, if it's an electrical impulse that's affecting a person instead of just sound.
Yes, and we pick it up as infrasound, but it could be something else.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's radio frequency. That's what I think is. I think it's attached to a wave that's hitting you, like you're just saying. Radio frequency makes you overheat, makes you get hot. What are all these missing 411 cases? What's one of the things that they say they do? Take off their clothes. Always find your clothes, but they don't find the people. Overheated. They walk into that area where that RF is like out of control or whatever happens. I don't know. I just a theory of mine.
Chris, when Misty was here and they stayed. She was in this bedroom in here and got hit with whatever that was, got her. I mean, I'm pretty sure Misty don't care about having that happen again. That's happened, what, twice?
Yeah, but that's what's so weird. These things remember me when I go to Greg's.
Oh, yeah.
It knew from as soon as I told it that it was scaring me from what it was doing, it stopped. It just slowly started just going away, and it just, I didn't feel sick afterwards. I didn't feel anything. I just felt normal. I laid back down and went to bed. The very next time I went, instead of it affecting me, my whole bed shook. I mean, it literally was, I thought we were having some kind of earthquake or something. I mean, heck, I didn't know you had scorpions. So I thought, you know, and Greg's like, no, that's not what that was. And I knew it wasn't. And I told him, I said, you know, I said, I know you're here. Thank you because I had literally just been laying in the bed and was thinking and I do that to answer Heather's questions, by the way. I know I'm all over the place, but to answer her question about that, about, you know, putting out good vibes and things, I'll walk off by myself and do that.
All the time.
And I think, you know, I've never got a response like one speaking back. I know some people think that's crazy, but I can literally walk out and sit and just think and think and think. Same things over and over, trying to like just say things, I guess, to them. And I've got responses, things that I've completely 100% asked them to do, they will do for it. And I can ask them to do it again and it'll happen again. And I've had that happen 3 or 4 times. I've had it happen at Kumbo's. I've had it happen at Greg's, and it's really strange. And, you know, and I told them, I said, you know, thank you for letting me know you're here. I'm glad you didn't scare me this time. That was the end of it. You know, and 10 minutes after I walked up to his door, they were going crazy, making monkey calls during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
They 100% remember who you are, and it's all got to do with your intentions of how they perceive the way you're going to be towards them. And, you know, just like you said, as far as energy, if you put out good vibes, you know, you get what you put out.
I think more people should start focusing. I know a lot of people don't want them close and don't want that experience. You know, they want them far away, and that's okay. That's what everybody's entitled to the way they feel. But I think the more people that are out, the ones that are out looking and trying to get these answers and trying to get them to come closer, if they spent a little more time doing what Misty just said, you know, telling them what you were expecting, say, hey, I'm here. We would really love this for you to happen. If you bless us with this or whatever, or whichever way you want to word it. And it does work. It really does work, because we did it down in Florida and it worked there too. And it works here. So if more people could try it and document it, then we would get farther. And I think that's something that we should try focusing on, is trying everybody who, no matter what side of the fence you're on, just, you know, get along and, you know, exchange notes.
Well, I mean, you have to admit, first of all, hold on. Did you see this question? Do you want to go into that? Because I know you know about this. You don't have to disclose any of that. I just wanted to make sure that you saw that question.
Yeah, we're looking into that right now. And what was his N4U?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see I apologize. I didn't see the whole name. We are actually on the verge of doing that right now. We've actually have a frequency that we are working with right now that is actually giving us results, but we do not want to put it out yet.
Right.
Because if it gets into the wrong hands and it works and someone gets hurt or they get hurt or something, we just don't want that to happen. But we are on to something.
I'm telling you, Chris is at the forefront of this technological stuff. He's trying all kinds of stuff, y'all.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the forefront. I'm like one of the guys that learn from the other guys, and I just taking notes and learning from them. That's why I did. Like I said, that's why I had my podcast, to learn and that's why I go and see people and go get invited to here and there and go and see other areas. I go to learn. I don't go to do anything else but learn. I have no intentions of. I've heard recently that I was out trying to steal people's areas, and I was going to take them over for my own personal benefit and for money. And I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? That's where it's gone to. But I just want to learn and just keep learning. That's all I want
Well,
to do.
you know what that means. You're starting to ruffle feathers whenever you start getting trolls. You're starting to
Oh yeah, I've gotten some good ones lately. That's why I had to take a break from the podcast. I had to just stop. Oh, it was terrible. But anyways,
just like that, what Sherry's talking about, I know most of y'all know that that's my aunt, but she's right on the animal thing.
Yes.
How many animals do you ever have just wild critters just come up to you when you're out? We were standing out here one day at the pond, and I had a snake come across the water and just swimming straight towards me. And I'm freaking out. And I'm like, JR, this snake's coming straight at me. You know, so he starts smacking the water, trying to scare it off. It runs off and it starts swimming straight back. And it does that, I don't know how many times. And then same with our young daughter, Layla. She had a frog. She threw it back in the pond. And her and her boyfriend was standing out there playing with this frog. And it just kept coming back to her. I mean,
yeah, they don't scare either. They'll just sit there and watch you. Like you walk out to your car and they won't even go nowhere. They'll just sit there and look at you. Yep.
You have to admit, though, a lot of these things, well, a lot of people's experiences, I should say, are not necessarily like benevolent. You could be a good person. I mean, House is a great guy, and he's had some, you know, they weren't interested in how nice and how good of a human being he was. They still, you know, tormented him and terrified the crap out of him. So, I mean, there's different kinds, or they don't always go, oh, well, you're a nice person, so I'll be nice to you.
They scare the hell out of me all the time. I'm scared of them, to tell you the honest to God truth. I'm not like one that's going to go sit on its lap if he wants to tell me a story. No way. I'm still freaked out about them. I'm not afraid to say it either. They freak me out, but I want to come up, you know, I want to help people be aware that they're right there in the forest, you know, because when I had this experience at I'm doing Real American Monsters now, I'm trying this little thing, and the first show was called Lured, and we were actually lured in by a dog whimper sound, and it turned out to be nothing there, and we got a stone thrown at us and a big growl at us. But the week after, I was driving by the trail, the same trail this happened on, and there was a mother with two little girls walking in onto that trail at the same time. Now I'm like, what if that happens to them? They're going to think that dog is hurt. And what if they go and looking for it? So that's the most important thing is, you know, no matter how you feel about these guys, everybody has a bad day. They can't all be nice. And awareness needs to happen for everybody because we all know they're real, but most of the people don't believe that they're real. So that's what I think the most important thing is.
Superfly wants to know if you've ever been put to sleep by the creatures or super tired while you've been out looking, like you just get an energy drain.
My buddy Larry has that we used to go to where he lived. He used to get sick all the time and like just sweat and he would have to sit down. I mean, maybe that was the infrasound thing, but personally, I've never had any anything like that happen to me ever. I have had nightmares or whatever dreams that are like almost real or whatever those are. And I've had those happen. Names come to me while I'm sleeping, stuff like that, but I don't know what all that stuff means. But that's all creepy stuff.
I'm right there with you. I know everything you're saying. I mean, I can agree with 100% because a lot of it happens to me too.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg, have you experienced the paranormal side of it? Have you had the crazy stuff ever go on, or?
I can't say as far as the like paranormal, like the orbs and stuff like that, because man, I'll just be honest with you, I'm not plundering around over here in the woods and not looking for orbs. And I figured for me to have an encounter, I'd have to be over there. But the craziest thing that I've seen, well, one of the craziest things dealing with boogers was the one that absolutely 100% it crossed that trail. It was an open trail within about where this thing crossed was within 60 feet of me. I'm in an elevated tree stand holding a semi-automatic Browning 30-06 rifle I'm looking down the barrel. I've got the rifle pointed right at this opening because, I mean, I heard this thing coming from over 100 yards, and it was coming through this thicket, the old growed up cutover. And not only could I hear it, I could tell where it was because I could see it. A lot of times they'd come through there, and the thicket wasn't that big. I mean, it was 12 or so feet tall, and I'm, say, 16 foot, up in the air. So I'm looking across all this cutover, and I could see the trees and saplings be pushed apart like it's pushing its way through it. And I could hear it coming, and this thing's walking bipedal. It's breaking limbs. It's crushing leaves, and it's walking up around the field. It's just out of the field, 10, 12 feet. It's coming around the outside. Well, as this thing comes around this part of the field that it's coming to, I had a trail that I had bush hogged that went, out of that field. Well, this thing's coming up, gonna intersect into that opening. And I know if it keeps going on that course, that this thing's going to cross. It's got to cross this opening right in front of me, or actually to my left, about 60 feet. And man, I'm drawed up. I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, I'm fixing to see it. If this thing keeps going, it don't realize I'm here. When it crosses this opening, I'm going to see it because there's nothing between me and it but air. That thing went right up to that opening, and that thing crossed that opening. 100%, it crossed it. It walked right up to it. Next thing I know, it's on the exact other side of the opening, the same distance. It had crossed and continued on in the thicket. It went from the right side of that trail to the left side. I never saw anything. I didn't see a blurry nothing. I did not see anything. Whatever crossed that was not, you could not see it. There was nothing. There wasn't a shimmer. There wasn't, there was nothing. It was like nothing. But that thing absolutely crossed that opening and continued on down through the woods. And I heard it go a long way. It was breaking. I'm talking about big branches, limbs, crushing, bipedal walking. I can't explain that to anybody. All I can tell you is exactly what happened, the best I can describe it. I cannot tell you other than there was something came through those woods, it crossed that opening, and it was invisible.
That's pretty crazy. That trumps a lot right there,
Yeah.
We had that happen. It was I guess they call it a bluff charge. It sounded like someone was driving a little Volkswagen through the woods, just snapped like big trees like you're talking about. Snap, snap, boom, boom, choo, choo, choo. And we come around the corner because we know we're going to see whatever's there. We come around that corner and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Not a tree's not moving, no movement, no nothing. How do you explain that? What do you tell people about that? I don't know.
What was on my roof last night? Explain that one to me. I sent them audio of a 2-story barn 10, no trees around whatsoever. The roof's being walked on. Crunch, 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 crunch. Gets right over next to where I'm at and stops. And I smack my hands and I hear something like kind of push off the 10 almost. No bird. There's no way a bird is walking this loud.
No, she sent the audio and I could hear it.
Yeah. What was up there?
Do you guys think what's up with this time of year? August, September, October. What goes on this type of year? What do you think? Because this is how the activity ramps up everywhere, outside in the forest at least.
2 days in a row, ain't it? That it's been that I've been telling you. And I haven't heard anything here in months. I hear my neighbors messing with me, but I can tell the neighbors out doing something versus something being way far off where I know there's no neighbors and it's just a big patch of woods.
Well, you had, what was it, all those weird sounds you had night before last?
Well, last night, right after that happened and something was walking on the 10, as soon as it jumped off, I hurried up and shut my recorder back off or on my phone because I wasn't expecting anything. I was sitting outside last night, but it was for totally opposite reasons because I wasn't listening for boogers. I kept Greg up all night too, but I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, I've got like 50 things running through my mind I want to tell you.
She's gonna break out the mushroom in a minute.
So don't never let me talk. So see what happens.
I seen the mushroom was pretty funny.
Let it go, Misty. Question away.
The mushroom was pretty funny.
Anyway, so I freaking that happens, and then as soon as that happens, I hear a scream. Something calls out, like makes a call, and then every freaking rooster around me starts going crazy. And then a coyote right behind me just starts going off, just making noise. And I sent both of them. Spence probably didn't even listen to it, but Greg does. So he heard it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 days. And it was making some kind of sound. I don't know what it is, but it was like it was so close. It was 3 syllables, but it was almost like a monkey sound, but not. It was like a ooh, ooh, ah is what it sounded like, but just smashed together just in like one syllable, but you could still hear the breaks in it, like a ooh, ooh, ah. And it just kept doing that. I don't know what it was. It wasn't a bird.
Misty, look at Heather Smith's question right there.
Well, I got to laugh. It's hard. My eyes are watering.
No doubt. Well, I'll just read it to you. Anyone see flickering lights like strobe lights? Tell them about your light flashes you've been having here recently.
I don't know what in the world is going on, but it's been so hot here. Chris can maybe kind of shed a little light on this one, but I've been working at night out in my garden and put lights and stuff up. And so I was out there looking down at the ground, just, kind of weeding around the cucumber plants. And it's almost like I thought somebody had took a picture of me or had took a spotlight real quick and just kind of like flashed it off and on. And one time it was just so bright, it lit up the whole freaking area. And I was like, what the crap is that? Did somebody just take a picture? Why would somebody be out here with a camera like that? And I got to looking around. And it was like nothing, no sound, no anything. Well, I went and looked on the camera and I actually caught it with our front video camera of it in the sky way out. It was just one huge flash, but there was never a sound at all with it. And that happened 2 or 3 times, within minutes of each other. So I've had that happen several times, and just one white light. I'm talking everything lights up like you've took an old style flash and been in a dark room and just clicked it.
Yeah, her video was really pretty good. Her surveillance cameras out front, she sent them to me, and you can tell it lights everything up like she said, like a bright camera flash. And it lights up everything.
I'll send it to you.
My buddy just designed a new light that goes along with those security lights, and it's triggered by heat sensors. So you don't have no more IR beam or anything. So if something walks within, I forgot what it was, 15 feet of it or under it, it lights up. I forgot how many lumens of light that it lights up, but it'll light up your whole backyard and it'll catch whatever's underneath them. So those security cameras don't give off any IR or any beams. This light doesn't give off any beams. So if you want to try and catch something on your security cameras going through your backyard, this might be the ticket.
Yeah.
Called the ambush. I forgot what he called it. The ambush. I'll send you guys after the show the link.
Some kind of passive sensor.
This was like a LED light up in the sky. I mean, just white.
It's nothing like in the South we have heat lightning.
Yeah,
it's not that, and it's not. There was no thunderstorm, no nothing, and it was not like lightning. I mean, it was totally different.
Well, you have a lot of that activity on your property, anyways, right, Misty, with the lights and everything, right?
Well, it comes and goes. That's what, there hadn't been hardly anything for a couple of months. Now I was getting weird stuff, in the sky setting out at night, like stuff that when you'd pull up really close and look at it, it looked almost like it was spinning and like it was solid in the center. I can't explain any of this, folks. I don't know, but it's weird. But I wasn't getting anything that sounded like Bigfoots or any calls or anything like that. It was more of like activity in the sky. And so the last 2 days, this has started back up, but I've not seen anything weird, like any flashes of lights or, anything odd. So I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
They're coming down and jumping off the monkey man. They're dropping off the monkey man, getting ready for the fall.
But
I can't talk and explain stuff because Spencer sits back here criticizing everything that I say and laughing. So you make me feel stupid when I try to tell stuff.
I didn't say any damn thing. Although, full disclosure, Misty does go out and forage for wild mushrooms and weeds and Lord knows what else. So that may be part of it.
I'm gonna start calling her the Whittler.
The Whittler.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking about that.
Yeah. Who was modeling for that mushroom? An 80-year-old man?
Hey, look, it ain't its fault. It's got a little lean to it.
There it goes.
Misty, it's all about direction. If you hold it out this way and roll it, it can be sad or happy. It's just all.
You can spin it around and it changes. So whichever way you like it better, I guess.
This is not a late night show.
Yeah, it is Sunday afternoon.
I ain't done with it, Thad. It's going to be a mushroom. Just wait.
So I apologize about not being able to share the stuff, man. I don't know what happened.
That's fine. You can
Don't apologize. Spencer should have done better.
No, he did, and I said, well, I could just share it from here.
No, stop taking up for him.
I'm gonna kick her off the damn channel.
Oh, Lord. Mark Green said, Misty, put the mushroom up.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, Lord.
Not like that. I'm going to work on it.
Hey, Chris, we're an hour and a half in. If you had to go back to the beginning and what the show was actually all about, till Misty started talking about her damn mushroom and flashing lights. If you had to tell people that wanted to start doing the gifting thing or wanted to kind of have some of the experiences that you had, what would be the advice? What would be the steps? Kind of walk through some of that stuff just to give everybody a rundown of it.
Well, the first thing and most important thing that these guys are real. They're 100% real, and you might get what you wish for. Now, I never thought in a million years that I would have ever gotten to the point I am today with these guys or whatever I'm experiencing. Not in a million years. I was just out for a new hobby and was hiking, and it was good for me, and I was interested, and then things just progressed. So before you start, realize that they're real. Secondly, then you got to decide where you want to do it at. Don't do it at your home, because if you do it at your home, they're going to be around your home. If you have children, if you have any of that, I cannot say how these things are going to react to people. I might have just had a couple that we reacted for all this time. We came up with a conclusion that it was a young family of 3 at my area. There was a mother, a father, and a young one. And we thought we at the end, we thought it was a girl. And there was a whole story that went behind that. We thought that she got left behind to start her own family, and it was pretty interesting. But just know that you don't want it around your home. Pick a spot out, and that even helps prove it more because you're not at your house. Angie, Snow White Bigfoot, she has what she's interacting with is good Bigfoot. They're good to her. They don't torture her. They don't slap her house. They don't show any aggression towards her or her family. So she has that case at her house. I can't speak for every case, but I would pick a spot away from your home. They say not to give food. We gifted food, and we ended up learning what food to gift and what, but we never gifted to where they were dependent. We would only leave like a dozen apples and a jar of peanut butter. We would never leave something that they would have to come back every day and they were going to live on. Because, these guys reported 800, 600, 800 pounds. I mean, how much food would they, I can't feed an 800-pound anything, especially these days. So the food would be your choice. They came, we left tobacco at first. We didn't leave food at first. Tobacco was left and toys and a picture of them. And I have all those pictures, of course, loaded and can't show them. So just be careful on what you share. They like peanut butter and apples in my book, and we never left them enough to depend on. And be careful. Don't go alone. I tell everybody, do not hike alone. I will never, ever hike alone again in my life. I know I probably could, but I won't. Just knowing that what goes on out there in the forest, just knowing what can go on. I mean, you get hit by one of those stones they're hawking at you. I mean, that could knock you out, and you could be left out there by yourself, and nobody will know where you are, and they'll never find you unless they know where you're hiking. Break your ankle, anything, just natural causes, bit by a snake bit or any of that stuff. So never go alone. Always tell someone if you do where you're going. And if this is really what you want to do, enjoy it, treasure it if it happens, because it doesn't happen to everybody, and it's an experience of your lifetime. I was addicted to it. I loved it. I would go there, and when they came, I would be a whole new person. Inside I would light up. I mean, it was like winning the lotto when they would come and they would share things with you, and we would find things. So just enjoy the situation if you do it. But just be 100% sure, because that this is what you want, because you could probably get what you want, and could go bad too. So I don't know. I mean, I can't tell anybody to do it, and I can't tell anybody not to do it. Make up your own mind, but just be careful.
Let me ask you this. Like, how going to other places you can get attachments. I mean, when you're ghost hunting or whatever.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Well, when you go to these places and you're doing this and it's close to you, like we've got a place that we researched that's about 5 miles from our house. After we went to this place and caught what seems to be a picture of something watching us, from almost 270 foot away, is when stuff really started amping up here around the house. And like I said, it's 5 miles from the house. So I'm kind of wondering if sometimes they don't just follow you back too, if they're close enough.
Oh no, they traveled 10 miles over the mountains to bring that leg to me.
Yeah.
They've been here. Maria's experienced them here. She experienced a thing with her hummingbird feeder all by herself. I had nothing to do with it. They come. They know where you live. They'll follow you home. Agree. They will follow you home.
I agree with that.
Yeah, they come. They know where you're both your houses are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
and pro on that. I'm sorry, Chris. I was going to address that.
Go ahead.
Yes, I am. I'm usually barefoot out there most of the time when I'm outside working. I run around barefoot all the time, actually, if I don't have to wear shoes.
Chris, I want to ask you, like that piece of property, like the area around it. I mean, was this way out in the wilderness? I mean, was it close to a town, residential area? I mean, what?
It's close to a state forest. It borders a state forest. It's you wouldn't even imagine that it would happen there, to tell you the truth, Greg.
Yeah.
We would have to park. We would drive there, and we would have to hike an hour in to get to the spot. But it's not too far outside of town. But there were sightings in the same area during the 70s. There was 3 sightings there, so that's another reason why we decided to go there. But you wouldn't imagine that they would be there, and it's that's another thing you should bring up, that they really can go anywhere if they wanted to.
Oh yeah,
close to town, away from town. What happened with the hummingbird feeder? They were taking the juice, and they were either pouring the juice out every day or drinking the juice, and they were plucking the flowers, the little flowers along the base out and just throwing them all over the place. And every day Maria would have to make a new batch of hummingbird stuff and put all the flowers back. And on the fourth day, she went outside and they did it again because she was getting mad. And she knew what it was. And she had no doubt in her mind what it was. And they took one of her flowers. And she came in the house that day. She goes, I don't care what you do. You go out there and you tell them I want my flower back.
Yeah.
I said, okay, yep, that'll work. I'll go outside. I'll tell them you want your flower back. So I went outside. I said, listen, Maria wants her flower back, guys. Next morning, she walks in the house. She goes, you're never going to guess what happened. I'm going, what? She goes, all the flowers came back today, and they were all in a nice little pile piled up underneath the bird feeder, underneath the hummingbird feeder. Look at my hair. My hair is standing straight up just telling the story.
Wow.
And it blew her mind. She knew what it was. She knew what they were there, and she knew that they brought the flower back.
That's crazy.
Quite the experience when they follow you home. I mean, because, but that leg, who knows? How do you take that leg thing? How do you take a coyote leg? Is that a gift? I don't know.
Supposed to be.
Right. That's what I got.
Taking a big bite out of it right there at your back door.
Is there a spot where I can send you these pictures and everything where you can post it so people that watch the show can look at all of it? Or
the only way I know to do that is to post it on Facebook, and they can come to Facebook and see it.
all right.
But they need to come to Facebook anyway if they want to go to the meet and greet. So that might work out.
All right, so I'll post some pictures and some videos in Woodwalkers for everybody to check it out and see the pictures of everything.
Go.
And y'all make sure to go check out his stuff too, his page. And I love the new designs on the shirts, by the way. And I'm just going to tell you, the second one, they're all cool. The second one's my favorite. So yes,
Wow.
I want one of these shirts.
Well, that's coming soon. That's the new project. I'm going to start going to the back country and starting to investigate and document and everything and showing real evidence to people and showing what's really going on. Like people like the back country, you know what I mean? Like the people like yourselves that have them living in their backyard. You know?
First means in the South, the back country.
Well, what do you call it?
We call it home. We don't call it the back country.
Well, I live in the back country here, and I guess it's home. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking Main Street. You know what I'm talking about. It's like the shows that you normally watch. You see that it's just don't show nothing but drone shots. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna want to try and change that up a little bit.
Hey now. The other white meat.
So yeah, so tell me about the meet and greet. What's going on with that?
Well, I mean, Mark just announced it. What was it, Friday night? And Misty, we threw Misty under the bus, and Misty had to create the page.
Always.
Misty had to create the page yesterday. By the way, Wendell, calm your ass down. It takes a little while to make this stuff.
Yeah,
But,
I saw all that. I saw all that going on.
You too. But no. So for everybody that missed the little show that we did, which was on Friday night, right after Mark Green's show. By the way, if you haven't gone and seen the Blaylax, their episode on Mark Green's channel, go watch that. That was a really good show. One of the things I've said many times, I think we all feel this way. You have to understand that we're all friends and we're all like extended family. I mean, we know the Blaylax and we know Mark and Rebecca. But one of the things I love that they do on their channel is it's not all about Bigfoot. It's more about the person and what they do and gardening and hunting and all that kind of stuff. And it makes for a really good show. But go watch the last episode of Cedar Creek Bottoms Farmstead Life. It is really good with David and Dee Dee. But anyway, we did a live afterwards. That's where the whole mushroom thing comes in with Misty. That was funny as hell if y'all haven't seen that part. But
I was counting on Greg to be there, and I had to pull all the weight Friday, Greg.
Yeah, you had to pull all the weight because Greg wasn't there. Anyway, so we got a meet and greet coming up. Another one, Woodstocks Part 2. Anyway, and it's going to be in the Talladega National Forest in Alabama in
the
October.
back country. In the back country.
Yes, in the back. That whole state would be backcountry to you. Calm down. But yeah, it's going to be Talladega National Forest in October. If you want to come, you're either going to have to email us, or you have to, preferably, you have to get on Facebook and go to the Woodwalkers page, because we have a whole separate chat and a whole separate page for that. But we have to know who's coming. We have to have a head count and all that kind of stuff. The land situation is kind of funny. We have to know who's coming. So you have to go to the Woodwalkers page.
Take me till lunch, Christy, the next day before you was posting.
Great day. I didn't even tell her about it till that night. I can't help it. You check the page. Oh, and this is one more thing for everybody that watches this show. If you go to the Woodwalkers page, if you don't answer the questions to get in on the page, you will not get in the Woodwalkers page. You have to answer the questions. It's not that hard. If you're joining it because you want to go to the meet and greet, you have to go to the Woodwalkers page. That means you have to answer the questions. And if you're a smart ass, what?
If they don't answer the questions, it looks like they're like the scam.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Some of y'all answer the questions in a smart ass manner, and then I don't let you on because you're being a jerk face.
Yeah, but you're fluent, smart ass. I don't know why you.
Y'all, see, look, it ain't me, y'all. I'm not the only one that controls everything right here. So when y'all see just random stuff popping up, yeah, I know y'all think it's me, but no, it's not. It's that little, yeah.
What?
I'm gonna behave because Chris is on here, but
because Chris is on here.
Oh, because I'm on here. Don't let me stop you.
And if you don't get accepted into the page, that ain't me either. And if you don't get your emails checked, that ain't me either.
The emails is me.
Just thought I'd throw all that out there. We're gonna throw people under the bus. Might as well.
The emails is me. Anyway, Chris, thank you for coming on. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
Oh, I just want to say thank you guys. You guys got a great show. I love watching you guys. I watch it on my TV, so I'm not usually in the chat. I always give the thumbs up though. And just thank you guys. Like I said before, you guys are the salt of the earth people, and that's what you want to surround yourself with, especially in this field that that we're all trying to figure out. And you need kind people. Just be kind.
Yes.
I mean, that's not too hard. Kind. It's easier to be kind than it is to be mean. So.
And you don't have to agree with us or anybody.
No.
But you don't have to be assholes either.
Right. Exactly. Right. I don't care if someone else has a different opinion than mine. I don't really. Go ahead. You have your opinion. That's fine with me. I'm not going to try and change it. I'm still going to share what I have going on, and that's what I have going on. I can't change it. I'm not going to tell you stories about it. I'm not making money off of it. I mean, none of us are making money off of it. We're just trying to, we love what we do, and we enjoy talking to people, and so that's what we do, right?
If anything, it costs you money, especially, when you're not doing anything. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. People that do this, you guys see us for an hour and a half, an hour, 2 hours, whatever. There's a lot more time, money, and effort than what people think that goes into actually trying to do this, even, podcasting, let alone trying to take these trips and go and buy all the equipment and research your areas and areas out of state. I mean, it takes a lot.
The meet and greets they're costly. Everything that you see here is it's energy on anybody's YouTube channel, not just ours. But anybody's. There's a lot of effort that goes into actually make a show, and especially doing the lives and lining everything up. Misty does well. Greg already said he don't do anything, but Misty does a lot of the thumbnails and the videos and stuff like that. Chris does it all by himself. But the going out and the meet and greets and everything, and there ain't no money on YouTube. I don't care what anybody tells you. Maybe if you had 1 million subscribers and you're getting 600,000 views per video or something, but there ain't no money on YouTube. And we just do it because everybody that I know just wants to share the information, just wants to get along. But anyway, hope to see y'all at the meet and greet. Y'all check out Chris's channel, Discover Sasquatch. He's got a new series coming up. What's it called again? I know you keep telling me.
Real American Monsters.
Real American Monsters.
I need 80 more subs for 4,000. So help me get there. That'll help get the word out a little bit more.
Wow.
Yep.
Only 80 more?
Yep.
Wow. So hey, y'all.
Yeah.
Look, y'all know how to do it. Go to Chris's page and subscribe, please.
Yeah, it's not about the money, everybody. It's about getting the word out. That's all. And like Spencer said, I've been doing this for 9 years. I've made $120 off of YouTube. So
wow.
$120. So that's what you got to look forward to.
That's about how it is.
That goes back to just, it nearly makes you sick when some girl can be bouncing around and scream hawk to and spit on that thing, and then she's got
she got $50,000 to show up for a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, though, hey,
Misty would start sharing like feet pics or something like that. We raise a bunch of money on here.
She walks barefoot around all the time, dude.
That's what I was about to say. My toes are locked.
You have to send her to get
Go ahead and describe it on the show. What did you say?
I've been begging her.
Put your little piggies up there.
Hey, I've been begging Misty to do a little short video talking about what the little piggies can do. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. Look, it'll sell. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You guys should get someone to film your thing for you down there. Someone that's going to come. You should have someone film that whole to do.
We got Wendell.
Yeah, you've been Wendelled.
What are you going to do? Velcro GoPros all over them? Just have them walk around the whole time?
Chris, we could never, ever even remember to take a group photo, much less video.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. You designate one person that comes just for that one thing.
We've did a pretty good job at LBL, so
we've got a Wendell 2.0. This time he's ready. We're going to give him extra cameras.
I got permission from Maria to go, so if I can line it all up in the cards and everything, we're coming.
Man, come see the back country.
Yeah, the back country. I'm going to get a shirt that says back country and wear it when I come down.
Yeah,
I'm in the back country.
All right, y'all.
Hey, we got some very important business we got to go over before we get out of here. I know he's apparently got out. Gary Spikes, y'all. Gary gave us. He got some bad news about his kidneys. Y'all, anybody, if you believe in the Lord and got any faith, y'all please keep Gary in your prayers.
100%. I don't know if anybody else needs thoughts and prayers. If you do, guys, don't be afraid. We're one big family. Just post a comment up there and we'll get on it. We'll have everybody praying for you. I mean,
it just warms my soul that Christy's doing apparently a lot better because she's getting
a lot better.
Frosty little husky.
Damn, world.
Hey, look here, Ray's doing better too. I mean, I was worried about her for a while.
DA came out of his surgery just fine. DA's show last night was really good, and you should go watch that also. Mark at Sawdust and Sherry are going to have a show. Is it this coming Thursday, Squirrel?
Yes.
This coming Thursday?
Yeah.
And
Sherry and Kumbo.
Is it Kumbo and
Mark Green, maybe?
David and Mark Green.
It's going to be a continuation of the last one they done, right? Ain't this part dupes?
I don't know, but I think it's Mark Green, David Hughes, Sherry, and Mark Newell. I don't know if Kumbo's going to be on there.
I think he is going to be on there. I'm pretty sure that's what. Let me check the comment.
Is it about Nephilim again?
I think so.
It's the second part of it. Yes.
Is Kumbo's phone and everything back up at his house yet? Has he got signal there yet?
It's horrible, and I'll talk to him. I'm surprised he hasn't done call me today. So he may want to come here and use my internet Thursday. So,
hey, Abby.
Yeah, my baby finally got in here. I bet she's been taking.
Hey, Abby.
Yeah, I got some. I got to give him a call. Got some questions for him, but I didn't know if he got signal back yet or not.
Yeah, his phone. I mean, as far as regular phone, but like his internet's still horrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, for coming on. Seriously.
Yes.
And I really do like you. I don't care what Spencer says.
And where we're going for the meet and greet, just so everybody knows, in Alabama, like of the people that we know and the people that we talk to, the people that are known, I should say, Kumbo's kind of up north. Greg is about an hour, little bit south of that. Mark is about 2 hours south of Greg. Flat Rock's about 2 hours south of Mark. The whole area is littered with booger activity.
Don't forget Miss Bama. She's about just about 30 minutes from Flat Rock.
Yeah. It's the
Bobby
whole state.
too.
It's the whole state, though, y'all. I will tell you this: compared to LBL, it's every bit the place that we're going. And even though LBL is known for the beast of LBL and all that kind of stuff, if you listen to Mark Green, there was stuff that happened at this location, but I don't want to talk about the location. And it's got a history. It's got a big history. You should come to this meet and greet. If you want to have a chance to meet everybody, plus be in a really active area, you should come to this meet and greet. It's a good spot. It's completely free. Greg is probably going to cook some, but you have to bring all your own stuff. It's primitive camping. There are no facilities, but it's completely free to you. And as it is right now, I think we've already got like 50 or 60 people lined up for it, because some of the people I know about personally aren't on the Facebook thing, but we've got about 50 or 60 people that are coming right now, and we just announced it 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So you should try to come to this. It's going to be a big thing.
I'll just say this, that somebody that wants to go to a conference,
right,
you're going to go and sit in the audience more than likely, and you may get your picture made with somebody. But in the setting where we're going to be, guys, I mean, everybody there is approachable. You can walk up, shake their hand, get your picture made, but you can sit around a campfire and ask questions and just talk like normal people. And I mean, it's you're not limited on, well, this guy's going to talk for 30 minutes. No, we're going to be there for 2 days. I mean, you get a massive chance to really talk to the people that have had a lot of encounters or been in this for a long time. I mean,
I'll tell you this, I guarantee it, there won't be one person that you come up to if you're there and try to talk to that treats you any different than they're any better than you or what. And if they are, they ain't staying, because we'll tell them to leave, because we're not.
No.
That's not the kind of people we are.
We're not above throwing somebody out.
Well, the thing about it, and that's what we stress. Look, our show, there's nothing professional about anything that we do, because to us, we want people, when y'all meet us in person, when y'all sit down with us or stand there and talk with us, we want y'all to go, that's the same people that we saw on these podcasts, except in person, we'll be less filtered, but we're not trying to portray.
You can imagine that.
We're not.
Less filtered than what we are right now. If y'all can put that into context. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we just want people to know that we're just everyday average people, and we just happen to have encounters with these things, a lot of them. And, we just want to talk to people and hopefully give people advice or just nothing else, make them feel comfortable that they can talk and express and talk about what they've had happen. So,
yes, Roger. Yes. All right. Well, Chris, thank you for being on here, brother. We appreciate it and everything. Throw us the pictures over on the Facebook page so everybody can take a look at it. Y'all go look at Chris' channel.
One more, right quick. Squatch and Holler. Roger. He's put up something. I think he's finally going to have another show here next few days.
Yeah, if Roger wants to take a damn break, let him take a break. I don't blame
Roger's
him.
been busy. Yeah, he started a new job, and I think
don't
he's
blame him.
working himself to death.
Oh, don't worry. He can take Heather to the movies and park way back there in the back. Roger, we know what happens in the cars parked in the back. You're old. We know that you don't need to be that far away to watch the movie. You need to be in the front. So look, if you're parked in the back and bragging about it, we know why.
You seen the new car he got? I mean, Roger.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, go to the drive-in. Go to the drive-in at 50 plus years old, and he's gonna park at the back row back there. Yeah. I bet he can't remember what the movie was.
Whenever Roger has his next upcoming show, we all need to be there and chat just so we can give him hell for taking so long. But anyway,
look at him.
Yes, that's Roger.
All right.
Well, thank y'all for joining and watching the show, and we'll see you next week. Go check out all the channels and everything. Y'all take care. Love you. See you next week.
Bye y'all.
Squirrel.
Hey y'all. Hey Spencer. We're swapped around again.
Huh?
We're swapped around again.
Yep. I know you do it on purpose.